friends, VLCD number 13. It's March 31st, 2017. And after an apple day, I am down 2.6. I am in the middle still of the apple day. An apple day doesn't start until lunchtime on one day, and it continues until lunchtime the following day. And you are, for those of you that already know this, then you don't need to listen. But for those of you that don't know this, I got a bunch of private messages last night. How do you do an apple day? Which kind of made me realize that there are so many people out there that just have never read Dr. Simeon's protocol. Everyone should know the protocol inside and out. If you are doing this protocol, read the manuscript. You should know what you're doing. You should have an understanding of what you're doing. So, okay, no more preaching. Sorry. Apple day starts at noon, ends at noon the following day. Minimal fluids. The purpose of an apple day is to eliminate fluid retention. You are to only have the necessary fluids needed to make it through the day. So I'm a huge water drinker, and I struggle with that. Last night in my vlog, you heard me say I'm thirsty. I mean, I want to guzzle water by the end of an apple day. The apple itself is supposed to supply you with enough water to make it through that 24-hour period. You're not supposed to have any other beverages, no coffee, no tea, nothing. I did have coffee. I also had tea. I also drank water minimally to take my supplements. Let's see, I had an apple I've already reviewed all this, but I'll just do it again because the correction days are usually highly viewed in order to hear what everyone always wants to know just about the release, the loss itself. But again, I did my normal routine of coffee. I don't put cream in my coffee. I had tea. I had a Smooth Move tea because I was feeling a little backed up, and a dandelion tea combined. I did my supplements with, if you want to know more about that, then look at previous vlogs. I'm not going to go into that. And then at about 1:30, right in there, I had my first apple. I cut it up and I put cinnamon on it. At 4:30, give or take, I had my second apple and I put cardamom on it, which is another like Indian spice. It has a completely different flavor. And then at 7:30ish, I had some homemade applesauce, which was just another apple that I cut up. I cooked it slowly in a small amount of water with lemon juice and cinnamon. I didn't add any stevia or Truvia to it. It didn't need it. It was a Honeycrisp apple. And then when I got home, I should have had another apple. I couldn't eat another apple. I was like, just put a fork in me. I am done. I am not going to eat another apple. And I figured that when I woke up in the morning, if I felt like I needed something, I would just blend an apple and have some apple juice. That never happened. So I got up and the day just rolled. I had vet appointment, and then found out I was having 8 people for dinner tonight, and next thing I know, it was noon. So I never got another apple in, and that was fine. I wasn't starving. I don't like eating until afternoon anyway, so that was all fine. Obviously, I had a 2.6 loss. That's great. I may not keep all of that loss, as some of you know that I've done in the past. It was a correction day for a stall, but I wasn't in the middle of a stall. I hadn't gone more than 3 consecutive days at the same weight. I had only had one. I had a huge loss. Then I had a goose. Then I had a gain. Then I had a small loss of that gain plus a little bit more. Then I had a goose, and then I said enough. So entirely past 155. This is where it gets a little tricky, and I'm manipulating the protocol just a touch. Today's a steak day. I've been pushing fluids all day. I had coffee this morning. It's 3 o'clock. I am hungry. I have a bunch of people coming over for dinner. I'm cooking this huge gourmet dinner, and we're having steak. So I may juice, I don't know. I don't need the steak day. Obviously, there is no correction needed. And steak days are not P2. This would be a mini steak day, which is completely rogue and off protocol. Hence, HCG rebel. I don't do things the same way everyone does them. So mini steak day, I usually do a ribeye. Tonight it's a T-bone. I eat about a half a steak, so about 5-6 ounces. I usually use a P2 type seasoning, nothing with any oils or anything like that. Sometimes it's just salt and pepper, and I just cook it. I grill it, or I cook it in cast iron, and I eat it just like that. Nothing else with it, no sauces or anything. And then about an hour or so later, I have a very large tomato or an apple. Please just read up on how to do an apple day and a steak day. Have those things in your toolbox while you're on around so that you have an understanding of it. I feel today was a huge shift change for me. My energy level, which usually happens at about 3 weeks for me, and I'm not quite there. I'm 2 weeks in. And my mood is really good. Now, granted, it's Friday and I have today off. That definitely helps. And we had a good, clean bill of health with this pup, so that's good. But there is a shift that takes place, and that's why I always wonder when people do these short rounds, these 21-day rounds, I hit my stride on the 21st day. That's when I'm really starting to feel that empty, light, on a roll, kicking some serious ass feeling, and I can't even imagine stopping at 3 weeks, because that's just, like I said, I just hit my stride and I go with it. So I'm going to cut this off because I've already rambled. I took precautions this evening. My bestie ever since I was 14 years old, who was recently diagnosed with breast cancer, is coming over for dinner, and we have been drinking buddies forever. We've been through a lot of stuff together, and I let her know that I wasn't drinking right now, and that if she wanted to bring wine over, that was fine, and that if she saw me pouring myself a glass of wine, to remind me to be kind to myself and stay strong with what I'm doing. She doesn't know that I'm doing HCG. I didn't say I'm on a round or anything like that, because she's such a beautiful soul that she always tells me, you look good just like you are, but I don't feel good just like I am. So which is why I'm doing what I'm doing. So no drinking tonight. I'm saying it out loud to you guys. I said it to her. I've already said it to my family, and I also told her, if you bring a nice bottle of wine, take it with you, open it, enjoy it, and then take it, because otherwise I will drink it. So that's where that stands. Kind of just, completely out in front with what's going on, so that the plan is there and that I stick to it, because I want to remember how good I feel right now again tomorrow. I want to know that I didn't sabotage just going through the hassle of going through an apple day, which really isn't that hard. It's just apple. It's like, okay, I love apples. I love to eat an apple every day. I don't need 3, much less 6. So, all right. I hope everybody has a great weekend. My plans for vlogging, this was like my first day to be caught up in weeks and everything. It didn't happen. So that's why I'm vlogging right now in the car, and trying to get this out so that I can be accountable to you guys, let you know what my release was, and tell all of you, if you're on protocol, stick to your guns this weekend. You can do it. I have faith in you. I have faith in myself. I will see you. If I don't vlog and post this weekend, I'm guilty, but I'm really going to try, even if it's just letting you guys know what my weight is. I will see you soon. All right. Ciao.